grab a seat. I want to have a chat with you guys about something that happened to me on a shoot recently. Is it ever too early to have whiskey? Yes, it is, but I'm having some right now. You all know how it is. We have those curveball moments when we're on set, and sometimes you just have to adapt. And that's exactly what happened to me on a recent shoot we did for Kia. Hey Theo, whiskey's not for you, brother. Also, check out how cool this glass is. Not exactly a whiskey glass, but I broke my Jack Daniels glass, so we're making do. So for these Kia commercials, I was flown out to Los Angeles from Tennessee, where I was living at the time, and I was hired to do DIT. I was in charge of ingesting all of the footage from the days of shooting and actually organizing them so that they're usable when it comes time to edit. So that's really all I was hired to do. But what actually happened? Well, I actually ended up doing a lot more than that. Operating the camera, acting in the commercial, if you can believe it. And then I also was responsible afterwards for editing a foundational cut for the commercial, just to kind of get the commercial started so that Kia could approve what we had filmed. These days, it feels like it's not so much about just sticking to a role, whether that is a gaffer, an op, or DIT, but actually wearing multiple hats and being open to helping out in multiple departments. Also, just to note, this production had a couple different sponsors in order to actually fly us all out there and to pay us to do this whole commercial thing. One of which is actually Hollyland, and I'm using their little mini Lark M2S microphones right now, and I actually really enjoy how discreetly it attaches to my jacket. That's actually a pretty cool feature. So if you like how these microphones sounds at any point in this video, I will have a link in the description. So I showed up on set as a DIT. I was pretty much focused on creating my YouTube video for the production and then basically ingesting and organizing all the files and coming up with some sort of an easy file structure. That was all that was going on in my head. But the night before the production, I was sitting and talking with the director, and long story short, whoever was supposed to be opping for the first day couldn't for some reason. And he asked me, hey, any chance you'd be down to operate? I've worked with this director before named Lucas, super cool. And so he knew that I could flex as an operator. So of course I was like, yeah, absolutely. Whatever you need, I got it. So funny enough, throughout this whole thing, I didn't even touch a hard drive or any of the media cards once. So go figure. Now, just because I'm being flexible in this space and opping doesn't mean that I knew everything about what we were doing. I actually had never used the cameras that we were using, the Blackmagic Pixuses. We had a B and a C Pixus. And then we were also using an Ursa as our main camera. Basically, I just had our first AC Adam go ahead and give me the rundown of how the cameras work, and they were really easy. In fact, since the shoot, I actually got myself a Pixus, and I really enjoy how all of the buttons here are located on the side of the camera. It makes controlling it just extra convenient. Typically, when you have a camera rigged out, things can get kind of difficult to see, but this is always visible. And then you also have this nice side monitor, and this is particularly great for an AC because once you're all rigged up and you have the arm or you're on a tripod or whatever, your AC can come over and actually make changes. And then I had a top monitor as a display for myself. And actually, that top monitor was one of the sponsors of this production. It was Portkeys, and it's super awesome having a really nice high bright display, especially since we were shooting in the California sunlight. Actually being able to see what you're filming is super important. But the controls on it were super flexible and easy to understand, and also you had things like false color and focus peaking. It was just a really useful monitor to have on set. But all of that aside, sometimes you just have to say yes to things even if you don't know all of the puzzle pieces, and then figure it out as you go, because the more flexible you are on set, the more valuable you become. So I had never used the Pixus, I've never used the Ursa, but again, I just had the AC explain it to me, figured it out, and then we were ready to rock. And really to drive that point home, when you're able to do more than one thing, you kind of just become an asset to whoever's in charge. So if you can flex into lighting because you need to have someone fix the lighting real quick, or you can flex behind the camera, or maybe even in front of the camera, you just become a valuable player in the production. And speaking of being in front of the camera, they did also ask me if I wanted to be in the commercial, which I hesitantly said yes. You would think as a YouTuber I would enjoy this whole thing of being on camera, but there's something about YouTube that's a little bit more raw and natural. I'm not the biggest fan of pretending and acting. Oh no, oh gosh, oh darn.
I've lost my keys.
But I thought, you know, again, learn new experience, become more useful. So I went ahead and gave it a shot. I mean, maybe I'll never be the absolute star of the show, but if we're in need of an extra who needs to be able to deliver a line or two, that's just another instance where I could be useful. Now, I'm not just using these little Hollyland Lark M2S microphones. Here, we are also using their production headsets on set. And guys, when things kind of get hectic and fast-paced on these shoots, especially when you only have 2 days to shoot 4 commercials, that was pretty dang tight of a schedule, communication becomes super important. So being able to have crystal clear communication and have good range to the headset so as you walk away you can still communicate is immensely valuable.
We were shooting way over in that parking lot behind this one, and I was walked up all the way up to the building over here, and it was still working fine.
And it's definitely not the most important thing, but these Hollyland production headsets actually look pretty dang good. Again, not really important to the functionality of the headsets, but I've really enjoyed how they look. Now, in addition to all the things that we were doing on the actual production day, from operating to being in the actual commercials, the director also asked me if I would be open to doing a foundational edit in order to get the commercials kind of in a good space quickly so that we could send them off to the brand Kia to actually get approval for everything that we filmed. And of course, to that I said yes. And I really appreciated that we were able to work in DaVinci Resolve, which is my preferred editing software. And we were using their cloud-based projects, which was really cool because once I was actually done with my foundational edit I had in the footage and the rough music that we were gonna use and things like that, Michael Tobin, who was our colorist, was able to access that exact same timeline through the cloud and apply a color grade directly to the same timeline. So it makes collaboration and working together in a production environment so much more convenient. But hopefully I'm painting a picture for you guys that because I was able and willing to be a DIT, a camera op, a actor, and then also an editor, all of these things just continue to open up more doors and give me more opportunity from one production. And if I had just shown up and told Lucas, no, I'm just gonna do DIT, that's what you hired me for, and I really could have done that, then my opportunities would have been just way less. There's probably some of you out there who are looking to get into a specific role, like I just wanna be a director, I just wanna be a camera op. And you can do that, but I would really encourage you to explore the other fields of filmmaking. Definitely don't limit yourself, be open to new experiences and to try out different roles. There's probably someone on set that would be willing to help you out like Adam was with those Pixis cameras, just to make sure that you're running everything smoothly and you're not actually slowing down the production, that you're actually being useful, and to even do things that might be a little bit out of your comfort zone. Like for me, which is definitely the whole acting thing. Again, I was not comfortable at all doing that, but those experiences are things that I can personally learn from. So even if I don't act in something in the future, maybe now I better understand how an actor or an extra feels if I get into a directing role, for example. Just being a flexible filmmaker is going to allow you to have more opportunities open up and more doors open up. So cheers to being a flexible filmmaker, a multi-talented filmmaker, whatever buzzword we want to use. And until next time, guys, keep creating and stay inspired. I'll catch you in the next one. That's pretty good.
That would be cool, but not this color. Green. Give me like olive green.
Okay, Cam.
Listen, dude. Peter
He's
can't
right.
own coffee. Cam can't own the color.